Number 3, 40 randomly selected statistics students were chosen to test their ability to determine when 1 minute or 60 seconds had passed. The 40 students yielded a sample mean of 58.3 seconds. Assuming that sigma equals 9.5 seconds, construct a 95% confidence interval for the mean length of time that passed. All right, I think you know what's coming. Go ahead and pause the video and give that a try on your own, and then we'll come back and go over it together. All right, let's see if we came up with the same thing. All right, so the P here for panic, we are constructing a 95% confidence interval for the mean or average length of time that passed. Apparently I'm having trouble spelling tonight. There we go, get rid of that H in the time. Okay, our A for assumptions. So I always just list these all out before I start checking them. And as you get more familiar with these, you will too. So do we have a random sample? I see the word randomly there, so I'll check that out. We know that our sample size is 40. So I will go ahead and circle the large and write down that n is equal to 40. And then it tells us right in the problem here that sigma is 9.5, so I'm going to write that down. So I've met all of my assumptions and conditions. The n here is named that test. So this is a 1 mean z interval. Z is in zebra. And then for I, for the interval. Okay, so I'm going to do this on Excel. And before I do that, I'm just going to write down the missing things that I need. I already have n and sigma written down. I need x bar. So that's the average from my sample. So the sample gave me a mean of 58.3. And then I'm in this 95% confidence interval again. And so if I look up that Z star, that's going to be 1.96. So I have everything I need to go ahead and put that into Excel. So I'm going to pop over to that screen. Okay, so let's get these numbers in here. My confidence is 0.95. So I actually don't need to look up my Z-star if I'm using Excel, because I can just put my confidence level in. And that formula, I have that formula up here, will take that confidence level and look up the Z-star for you. So that's kind of a nice feature of that. Oops. So let me undo that. There we go. So my X bar is 58.3. And sigma was 9.5, and my sample size was 40. This gives me a lower bound of 55.35 and an upper bound of 61.24. So I'm going to write that down. And I'll go back to our classwork here. Okay, so one thing I do want to note here is that if you use Excel, and that's totally fine, you do need to have written down sigma and n and X bar. You don't have to write down what Z star is if you're using Excel, but you do need to write these three down. And then you do need to also, under I, list down what your interval numbers are, so that lower and that upper endpoint for those. Okay, so I do expect to see that if you're using Excel. And then let's write our conclusion statement. So we are 95% confident. Okay, we're just getting that from this part here and this one here. We're just going to combine these together. So you're 95% confident that the true mean length of time that passed is between 55.35 and 61.24 seconds. So make sure you get some units on that interval as well. They usually have units on there. Right, so I hope that matches up with what you got, but if for some reason it didn't and you have questions, feel free to send me an email or contact me during office hours on Zoom.